Hi everyone, thanks for tuning into my screencast on how to get students super interested in science. I'm Kent, that's a younger version of me right there. I've been teaching science for 15 years, and during that time I've taught senior physics and chemistry. I've taught junior science, that's science 8 to 10. I helped create and teach a design course at my school for about 4 years, and currently I'm also teaching STEM, aka STEAM, at my school. Now, the inspiration for this screencast came from a bigger question I had about science ed. I wondered, what if students viewed science the same way people viewed their favorite sport or their favorite hobby? If that was the case, you'd get fans, and you'd probably get some fanatics too. So you're probably thinking, well, what's so great about fans? Well, fans, they get excited. They have their favorites, even if it's not very popular. Fans, they stick together and cheer in good times. They console each other in bad times. And superfans, they try to learn as much as they possibly can about their favorite sport or hobby. For example, baseball superfans would probably know who the first baseman for the New York Yankees in 1976 was. Now, in any sport, there are also fanatics. And fanatics, well, they push themselves to be better in some unique, perhaps even crazy way. They're fanatics, they're fanatical. And this is not just, I guess, isolated to sport. In, pop culture, they're gonna be fanatics. These are people who are gonna be driven to get the right detail, to get the fine details right, maybe in some extreme case. And even some unique cases, they're gonna try to find some way to express themselves, to get those details right. And that's the type of class I want to be part of. This passionate fandom, a class full of superfans. That's what I want for my science classes. So how do we get science students to become science superfans? Well, I think it starts with giving students challenges. But of course, we have to give them the right type of challenges. And I'll share one type of challenge with you later that's worked quite well with my own classes. Let's start though with talking about the wrong type of challenges. And the wrong type of challenges tend to be quite black or white. For example, the volcano experiment with the baking soda and vinegar. This is quite binary. It either happened or not. It's very black or white. Even if you try to improve on the result, how can you quantify how much better it did? There's not much of a challenge or process there. I feel the same way with Rube Goldberg machines. Again, black or white, did it happen or did it not? Rube Goldberg machines are cool to look at. They're quite nice and funky, and they're a nice art piece perhaps. But as a science challenge, there's not a lot of process going there. It's still quite black or white. The type of challenges I like, or I think work really well, are the ones where you can actually have a range of results and you can actually improve upon over time. Students can really put some time into it, alter their prototypes, and find a way to get a better result. A good example would be solar ovens. I've done this with my junior science kids as well as my senior physics kids. Every year they build solar ovens, their objective being finding a way to heat up water to the highest temperature possible in 30 minutes. And check out the variety in solar ovens you can possibly make. Students start off with one version, eventually test it and try to improve upon it over and over again. The best I've ever seen is almost 90 degrees in half an hour. And I live in Canada, so that's actually quite amazing. Another challenge that I really like is the balloon-powered car. This is where you build a car out of paper or some sort of recyclable material, and you attach a balloon to it, and you try to see how far it goes in one breath. Again, check out the variety in models you can make, the improvements you can make upon it, and the fact that students really put some time into it. They build one, they test it, they alter it. I've seen kids go from 1 meter distance to suddenly going to 25 after taking maybe 3 or 4 steps to try to improve it. So as you can see, the common thread throughout these really good projects, for really good challenges, I might say, for these kids is the fact that they got to build something physical. They got to test it, and then they got to try to repeat this process in order to improve the result bit by bit by bit. Now, to the quick challenge I was going to share with you. The quick challenge is really just a twisted version of telephone. That fun game you played as a kid, except in this case, you're going to send a signal without talking. You have to use your hands or body signals, and the fastest time wins. And the great thing about this challenge is that there's not a lot of materials, really just 2 sheets of paper required per group, and it might only take 2 classes to run. And how it works is basically you have a group of 3, and the 3 students are going to go around a corner, and the distances between person 1 and 2 and person 2 and 3 are quite large. Okay, they're going to be quite far away from each other, and what's going to happen is that person 1 is going to have a grid, an 8 by 8 grid, with 16 X's there, and person 3 is going to have the same grid, but it's going to be completely blank. And person 1 has got to try to find a way to send the message to person 3, and they're going to do a whole bunch of gestures. Person 2 is going to copy those gestures, and person 3 is going to transcribe these gestures. And of course, beforehand, before they do this, it's their duty, it's their job in this challenge to try to find a way to communicate these X's in a efficient way. Efficient and accurate, I might say, because in the end, you're going to compare the original on the left to the transcribed version on the right, and you're going to try to calculate the fastest time, or the final time. And the final time is really just the recorded time, how long it took to send the message, plus any penalty time. So for example, in this case, if it took 53 seconds to actually send the message, but this group made 2 mistakes, well, if each mistake is worth 15 seconds, in the end, their final time is 83 seconds. Now, the best I've ever seen is less than 30 seconds. And the group really went all out. They built it, they tested it, they repeated it over and over again. They found they're really able to hone in on the most efficient way of sending this message. And the fact of the matter is, all these kids during this class and outside of class, they were practicing. I saw them at recess, I saw them at lunch, and after school, they were really going for it. And that 30 seconds was really hard earned. And other kids were just also trying to improve their scores and trying to do as best they can. It was quite amazing to see. So give that a try in your classrooms. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, well, Kent, these challenges, solar ovens, balloon cars, this telephone game you're telling me, it's all fine and great, but, there's only so much time in my class, and there's material costs to these challenges, and also, I gotta find some time to teach the content in my courses. How can I make these science challenges a regular thing in my classroom? And so that question I'm going to leave for next time. In the next episode, I'm going to tell you some ways you can incorporate challenges into your classroom to make it a regular thing in hopefully 10 minutes or less. So, thanks again for watching this screencast, and please stay tuned for the next episode, which should be coming out soon. Thanks.